Sup my lovely bushes, welcome to another video here on TGN Anime. This is probably my final review on Naruto Shinobi Striker before the final game finally comes out. We just had an open beta with 6 time slots. I didn't play all of them, but I played most of them for sure. And this is my full opinion on the beta. Now, the first problem, the first thing that people were complaining about was something that I don't think is actually a problem or something people should be complaining about. And that is the lack of customization in this beta. Yes, it was fun to customize your character, to be able to equip different jutsu to each class that you have in the game. And for this beta, the facilities were all closed. You couldn't go talk to Sakura and be like, hey, for my defense type, take this jutsu instead of this jutsu. You know, yeah, that was lame, but that's actually okay. We know that stuff will be in the final game. They have shown it before. This is a beta, and a beta is not for you to have fun.
Then what's a beta for?
A beta is for the developers to test out the servers, to stress test what they need to stress test, and make the final game as good as possible. Of course, having a happy player base will help sales in the long run, but I'm not gonna bash them for not including customization in this beta because that's not what they needed to test probably. And since it will be in the final game, I really don't see any point in complaining about it. Moving on to some of the other stuff that was new in this beta. Quick match versus Ninja League. You had 2 ways of queuing up for a match this time around, and I believe this will be the final game's version of casual play and ranked play. I like these options a lot, because no matter the situation that I'm in, I can just queue up for a quick match or for a ranked match, for a Ninja League match. Just gonna call it ranked from now on, just for simplicity's sake. Is that cool with you guys? This is one of those games where you need to have your team doing what they need to do. If you have a team of random people and they're really bad at the game, because let's be real, a lot of the Naruto community is coming into this, creating their own ninja, and then the gameplay is kind of secondary. They just kind of want to create their own ninja and then go fight. And by go fight, I really mean just have any kind of battle. They'll be happy if they kill a player. It doesn't really matter if they're protecting an objective, if they're capturing a control point. So this is really one of those games where if I don't have a team, if I'm queuing up solo and playing against randoms, I'm gonna go on quick match. And then I'll save ranked or Ninja League to play with my bush ninja. Which, hey, you can become a bush ninja through YouTube or through Patreon. The links are in the description down below. So that's cool, I enjoyed that, but I did not like the difference between quick match and Ninja League once a match was over. After you finish a match, if you're on quick match, a countdown starts of 30 seconds to the next battle starting. Why can't we have the same thing on Ninja World League? Why do we have to talk to Shikamaru on the Hokage estate every time we leave a Ninja World League match? Why can't it just go, hey, do you want to continue? I mean, don't even give me an automatic countdown, because it's ranked, I get it. People finish a match, maybe they put down their controller, then they're FK, and they ruin a match for the entire team. But maybe just to have a prompt to say, hey, do you want to play the next match? Yes, instead of us having to go through all that stuff. It was so much easier to play consecutive quick matches than it was to play consecutive ranked matches. So I'd like to see something that facilitates that, for sure. And on the note of matchmaking, it's a lot better than last time around. I mean, last time it was horrible. The last open beta, I don't think I played any match. I think I was able to match with a full team like twice, but never actually played any match, and I played that beta for like 6 hours. That was the absolute worst, so obviously it's a lot better, but it's even better than what it was in the closed beta. Matchmaking is fast. I'm pretty sure it's matching me with players that are of a similar skill level. Of course, this was a beta, so the skill level was pretty similar all around, but I like the speed at which the matches get done. On the other hand, laggy matches still happen, so maybe that's something that needs to be addressed through matchmaking as well. It's not as problematic as it was. I've had the best matches in any beta, but it's still random and that still bothers me a lot. While I was on livestream, I was inviting people from across the ocean, so I don't blame the game for being laggy in those situations because I'm forcing the game to having a connection that crosses the ocean. And that's never going to be easy, that's always going to be a little bit laggy at the very least. But when I was going into quick match, I would get like perfect matches, 0 lag at all, but I would also get really bad matches. super incredibly laggy, unplayable even, and if that happens on ranked, that's enough to make you rage, you know? It's that sort of thing where I didn't lose because of skill, I lost because I was unlucky and got a bad match. And now I'm stuck on this bad match, trying to make the most of it for a good 5 to 10 minutes. Which, by the way, I really dig the duration of these matches. They're really fast, and that's a plus in my book. It's a game that you can just jump in, get a couple of matches done, and get out again. I absolutely love that. But every game mode so far has been like super snappy. But yeah, the randomness of how laggy a match is gonna be before we get in, it's still an issue. You queue up, and it's a 50-50 chance on whether or not you're gonna have a good experience. And trust me, Naruto to Boruto Shinobi Striker is amazing. I love this game so much, but the stars need to align. It's like you queue up for a match and it needs to be perfect. It needs to be made up of a good team, of a good server, like no lag at all. For you to have a good experience with Shinobi Striker, so many things have to go right, and sometimes they don't. So yeah, that still bothers me a lot. And that's sort of the general picture that I wanted to paint on this open beta. Obviously, you also tried it, so I look forward to hearing your opinion. I do have some more feedback regarding specific jutsu. First of all, the paralysis jutsu. This was brand new. I did not expect this jutsu at all. I also think this was the first time we've ever seen it. I don't think it was available in any previous beta. I felt like this jutsu needed a bit more of a visual feedback, because the jutsu is basically your character putting your hands together and then the opponent is stunned, paralyzed. But sometimes it doesn't work. Why doesn't it work? Was it because the opponent was out of reach? Was it because the opponent dodged and the jutsu kind of missed him? This jutsu needs more visual feedback for players to understand more intuitively how it works. Why are you missing the jutsu? Why are you not missing the jutsu? It was great as a counter to the Sand Shield this time around. Sand Shield was incredibly powerful in previous betas. Not only did we get a direct counter with the paralysis jutsu, but the Sand Shield itself was also nerfed. Now you can damage through it. A single player might have trouble doing it, but two players just like unleashing a melee combo on it, they can break it no problem. That said, Sand Shield, still a very powerful jutsu. For base battle, it's still ridiculous. But yeah, paralysis effect. Give me more feedback on what this jutsu is. How is it traveling through space? I need to see it. Otherwise, every time I miss, I'm like, why did I miss? And then last time around, I talked about tracking a lot. In previous betas, even if you were like facing away from your opponent, you weren't locked on or anything, you would hit the ninjutsu button and it would automatically track the nearest opponent. It was so annoying. Tracking was incredibly aggressive, and now it's not anymore. And abilities like the Rasengan, which used to be very unreliable, now are actually more powerful. I think the roles have reversed so much that Kakashi's Raikiri is now so unreliable. It's the new Rasengan. I have this match where I was trying to land so many Raikiri, and I just don't understand how none of them landed. Some situations might have been lag, but I do think the tracking has something to do with it. Like, they nerfed the tracking on the Raikiri because it was insanely high. It was like the best tracking jutsu in the entire game. And the Rasengan, which was so unreliable, is now a lot better. So they nerfed one, buffed the other, but now it's completely out of balance again. These are issues that I bet we're still gonna have when the game comes out, and that's exactly what balance patches are for. And hopefully they're quick on pulling the trigger on these sort of changes. This thing's too powerful, nerf that. That thing is not powerful enough, buff that. Because in the beginning, it will be a game with so many jutsu that people are gonna find some broken stuff right away. And I'd hate to see a game with so many different possibilities of loadouts to be broken in a way that everyone is using the same stuff. That would be probably the worst case scenario. Oh, and speaking of loadouts, I don't like how in this beta you only had one option for each class. When you go select a character, you could select heal type, defense type, ranged attack, but on previous betas, you actually had 4 different slots, each one with all 4 classes, which makes total sense if you're gonna have different types of game modes. You can have a group that is for base battle, a group that's for combat battle, and etc, etc. Maybe they didn't have those options because this time around you couldn't actually customize your jutsu, so it didn't make sense to have that, but I really hope that's the case, because if in the final game you can only have one type of loadout, that's not great. That means you're gonna have to customize your loadout every time you want to switch game modes, and that can't be a good solution. Oh, more stuff is coming to me. Please let me select my character before the match starts. When you go into matchmaking, you can select your character, but first of all, the menu where select your character and the menu where your team is are different, which means you first have to open up a menu, look at your team composition and be like, oh, we need a healer. And then you hope the class selection menu, select the healer. And then you have to go back to the matchmaking menu to make sure your team still has the same composition. Can you please just put all that stuff in one menu? And also, sometimes you know, you only have 3 people on your team and the last person, the last slot to be filled is on your team, so you kind of don't know what your team lineup is going to look like. And as soon as that person fills in that slot, there's not enough time to coordinate and be like, oh, let's switch class here because we have too many healers or whatever. So I really think that at the start of the match, they should allow you to switch characters. While we're on that cooldown, on that like spinning camera, zooming around the map, let me look at my team lineup and just switch characters to whatever the team needs. Because more often than not, I have to wait until my first death to adapt and be like, of course we're losing. We have 3 healers and 1 range type. What are we doing? But the whole reason why we have 3 healers and a range type is because we didn't have time to switch the team composition. So yeah, just some feedback, just some changes I'd like to see. This game, my opinion hasn't changed. I like the new game modes a lot, so I think I'm a bit more positive than before. I was already positive, but now I'm more positive. I'm plus. That said, still kind of sharing the same opinion that I did before. It's still a bit random. Every time you join a match, you still don't know if you're gonna have a good experience. And some people are gonna be willing to take that risk and buy the game and be like, yep, this is what I bought. But I don't think anybody's gonna be 100% happy if that's the situation when the game comes out. And Naruto Shinobi Striker will be one of those games where you have fun creating a character and unlocking some stuff, but every time you go into a match, it's like, flip of the coin. What are we getting this time? Lag or no lag? Find out next episode, folks. That's of course my opinion. I'd love to know yours. Let me know what you thought of the open beta in the comments down below. Last time around we talked about Kabuto finally confirmed that he has a genjutsu that he's bringing with him. Check out that video right here. If you're in the mood for something else, there's also the video at the bottom. But as always, thank you very much for watching. My name is Globku and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.